Other interesting business news, you have Nissan to kill the gas engine investments. Rest in peace, Godzilla. Now, this is one of the worst business decisions I've heard of in a while. Time will tell if it is truly a business blunder, because Nissan only sells about 18 cars a year, probably won't affect them. Huh, that's an automotive pun, because in terms of volume of sales, they are very much one of the smaller automotive manufacturers. Now, this article is first brought to us thanks to Motor1.com, which, I was going to say, case in point, you know exactly what they're talking about. Now they say, quote, Nissan has stopped spending money on new gas engines. It's all going into EVs, which, I don't know. Are they taking a leaf out of General Motors? No, even General Motors isn't this foolish. Even General Motors, which again is like, General Motors has gone bankrupt 3 times since Billy Durant founded the company all those years ago by bringing together Oldsmobile as well as Buick. And even GM is investing hundreds of millions of dollars into their new V8 because they understand they make their money from trucks, SUVs, then what is now the Corvette, which is, it's a hybrid as well as an EV with options and no third pedal, just 2 pedals on that car. Also known as a manual transmission, an abomination to most automotive enthusiasts. Now, nevertheless, with Nissan, appropriately, they have a picture of the GTR, which, again, they haven't done much in terms of engineering in, I don't want to say decade, but it's a little disappointing when every year the car just looks a little bit different. A business practice first started by General Motors. But the Nissan GTR is one of those legendary Godzilla vehicles. I mean, that's the nickname for it. Made a lot of horsepower, turbocharged. Like, it's some Marvel engineering, hand-built engine. And yet they still don't have a manual transmission, which to me, they're just leaving money on the table. Just adding manual transmission to the GTR. I'm not saying you're going to double your sales, but it's not going to be, it's a not insignificant amount of sales you would increase. Because right now, the sale rate of that vehicle is also decreasing, much like most Nissans. Doesn't help that they had those CVT transmissions for, years and on years, and they, kept crumbling into nothing. Now, again, this is also foolish because the fastest growing automotive category right now in the United States, which is one of the largest markets for automobiles, is hybrids, which personally I find abhorrent. I would never want one because I want a vehicle that lasts a long time and have 3 pedals, much more fun. Now, for that as a consumer, though, that's where the market is moving, generally speaking. By Toyota, it's kind of vindicated when they invested so much research and development the past couple years into hybrids. They turned out to be absolutely right. Another good example of business aptitudes, General Motors makes one hybrid, and it's the Corvette, which no one's buying that because it's a hybrid. Now, this specifically was brought to us thanks to a writer at Motor1.com by the name of Adrian Padano. He says, quote, Toyota, Mazda, Subaru recently announced they're joining forces to develop the next generation internal combustion engines. However, another Japanese automaker has taken a radically different approach by deciding to stop investing in gasoline and diesel power altogether. Nissan says it's pretty much done spending cash on new ICE technology. Which, I was going to say, they have one of their anemic V6s down below. You see one of their twin turbos with about 10 pounds of plastic on top of the cover. Have it all in pun. I'm not a fan of having all that plastic just thrown on top. I know it does noise dampening, but if I buy a car, I kind of want to hear the engine. But again, that's just me. Now, he mentioned that the transition from the conventional powered cars to fully electric models will be done by Nissan's e-Power technology. It's an unconventional hybrid setup where the combustion engine acts as a generator to charge the battery. I mean, that's not too unconventional. General Motors did that over a decade ago with the Chevy, or if you feel so fancy, the Chevrolet Volt, which is kind of funny. Nothing more American than a Frenchman, because Louis Chevrolet was a French race car driver that Billy Durant founded or started the business with. But nevertheless, they say that's going to be part of the lineup of the future. But again, I can't imagine this is a good idea. I mean, Nissan's already struggling and making a car that, again, the market's not accepting at the moment. I mean, maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe this is the best decision Nissan's ever made. I was going to say the bar's pretty low based on historicals of the company. But would you ever buy a Nissan in general and then an EV? Now, I'll give them credit. They were one of the most successful companies in terms of they had the Nissan Leaf, which was the butt of a lot of jokes, but was one of the first mass-produced EV vehicles, which I know EV vehicles kind of redundant. But nevertheless, they did do that. It's moderately successful. It's an aggressive price point. I gotta give them that credit as well. If you look at their overall sales, I mean, Nissan has become a butt of so many jokes. I mean, BAE Energy, which is, I guess, short for Ultima Energy or something like that. There's whole Facebook groups just because it's kind of a hilarious phenomenon. But I don't think that's going to help Nissan in the long term. Especially, again, when you see a lot of the profits are coming from hybrids, are coming from gas engines. So let me know, have you ever bought a Nissan or driven a Nissan? And do you think this is the right way for them to move in terms of the business direction? Let me know in the comments. As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leave a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.